Alright, well I'm back again for another training game. I'm looking for longer games against higher rated opponents if possible, and we'll see if one pops up. If it does, I will resume the recording, so we'll see you then. We go. It's not quite as long of a game as I would have liked, but I was waiting for quite a while to even get this game, so we'll go for it. I'm going to play an Alapin as I normally do in the Sicilian. And again, I'm playing against a Croatian player, Kramer38. I'm going to take once, and on takes back d4 is the theoretical move. Takes, I take as well. And although I would like to play this, you have to start like this to defend the pawn. This is a common mistake if they pin this, which he doesn't do. But it does allow me to play this move, so I think I will attack the queen. Now there's no increment in this game, it's just 30 minutes flat. So hopefully it's still long enough to think. But if I do get in trouble, then I'm going to really have to scramble. Now this is probably a very common place to put the queen, pinning this guy. Following up with this would make sense. Obviously he wants to put his bishop here, to put as much pressure on this pawn as he can. And probably for that reason he's leaving his queen here, so he's going to have 3 players on this pawn, whilst I only have it defended twice. But I can put a 3rd player there if I wish right now. I can also take one of his defenders out by pinning it to the king and then either taking it or just leaving it pinned. So if he does this, I take, ruin his pawn structure. If he unpins, well, I can take and then castle. Then he takes here, ruining my pawn structure if I want to keep a hold of this, so you got to be careful. After this, maybe castles is the right way to go, because at least this blocks his queen off too. So maybe this, castles, and if this, well, I wonder if we could then play this. If he takes, I take. If he takes, I would take here. I think that looks pretty good. So we'll give it a go. Let's look in a castle, essentially. This move would be nice in future. So I castle. This doesn't work because I just go check. And after he takes, I could take this back. Now he is defending this again. So now he could take this. And after take, he's got enough players there, keeping everything guarded. But like I said, this move could be on the board. I'm attacking the knight. Where does the knight go? Let's say here. Well, then I take. He takes back. I take, he takes back. I mean, it seems alright. Not sure if it's best. I could take here, he takes back, and I come here, hitting the bishop. And the bishop is bound to be traded because there's no square it can get to. Either here, 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 or here, where it's not within reach of my knights or other pieces. So take either ruins his pawn structure, or guarantees that I end up winning back at least one of the bishops by either taking this, again, ruining his pawn structure, or he takes here and I take back. We might get a trade of queens. Things are relatively even there. What else can I do? Of course, I could just carry on, defend this pawn. And that could be a nice way to go. If he ever moves this out the way, as mentioned, I can trade first and then possibly take. If he puts his rook here, let's just have a look at this. So this, let's say he takes. I take, he takes, I take. He comes here, I take, I've got this queen defended many, many times, so that should be fine. So if this, I'm not afraid of the knight moving away somewhere. I'm not sure I'm really creating great big problems for him either. If this, he takes, I take, and he takes. Then I guess there's I take, he takes, I take, he takes. And that might be all right. Trying to think of a move. What's he going to want to do? Probably develop and castle, if I were him. So how about this for an idea? You develop, I take you. You do this, you're weakening your king side. And then I just come back, saying you've got a weakened here. Weakened king. So this I take, he takes. What have I really gained there? But yeah, this is still a possibility, isn't it? Take, take. And then push. Again, if he takes, I take. He takes would lead to I take. So I think this is the critical move. Meaning the move which, if correct, doesn't give him time to develop. If he just does this, that might be a good response. I can just go take. He takes back. And then let's say this. He takes. So maybe not. Maybe not quite. What do I do in response to that? Maybe I can come here with my queen, attacking this knight. He can take here defending, but I take back, again attacking the knight. And if the knight just moves back here, winning the pawn, then take, he takes, take, he takes, and I pin this knight, but he can defend it. So don't really see that working yet. How about this move straight away? He does this, I take, he takes, and I just have to move back again. This doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot. This might be interesting, but I'm definitely using a lot of time. This allows him just to develop, but my point is I'm not sure I see a lot of other options. I can then do this. So this could be an idea, but what am I actually doing there? I guess I'm threatening to go take, and after he takes back in one of these ways. I'm not sure. I really don't know about that. Seems a bit flimsy. This could be an idea though. Then if he comes here, we swing this way, looking at this pawn, looking at this bishop. That could be an idea. Gotta be careful though. Gotta be really careful. It's probably alright, at least there my pawn restricts his knight. Can't say I really mind that. It's not such a bad idea, I don't think. I'm going to try it. Long story short. And we'll see. I did spend time, 8 minutes. But I don't think I've done anything too wrong. If this, that's fine, because this pawn, like I say, should restrict the development of his knight and make his job harder to castle. And at the very least, if he just does develop the knight anyway and goes to castle, maybe I can take the bishop and ruin the pawn structure for him. As a possibility. Maybe even there's a take here. We should have a look what happens. After that check, he would have this. And there's this. Be kind of interesting, In any case, where we're here, if he does something like this, like I say, could weaken his king, and there's always this as the bailout option. Like I say, this bishop can't go anywhere to save itself, really. So he opts to say, I can take, but he's going to use the opportunity to improve the development of his rook. Let's see, is that really true? What if I attack the rook? Yeah, you can take this. But then I take the rook. So far I'm up in exchange there. If we have a queen trade, that's fine. So take, and I do this. If you take this, and this, I come here. I kind of think I'm still doing really well there. This might be an option. But then again, perhaps not. In this case, take, and I come here. I'm still defending this pawn, but only once. So he might have something like this, which defends everything. Take. Could be nice. After take, I take. I think that works, no? What if he just moves back? If he just moves back, then is there take? He takes. And I come here. Check. Seems a bit of a risk. What about this immediately? Like I say, I don't think so. I don't think so. Right. But this is, again, could be a critical move. Hitting a rook. Say the rook comes here. Then he's got 2 attackers on this. He's also threatening to remove one of my attackers. Well. I think I'm seeing a little something. This. If he does come here with his rook, I can jump here, hitting the rook. And if rook takes pawn, queen takes rook, queen takes queen, knight jumps in with a check, king moves, and I double back and take the queen. Everything here is still defended. So therefore, take and this, I can do this. He can't take, which is nice. But if he just comes back, I suppose there I can take this pawn at the very least. It does seem just a bit flimsy. I can take once and then just develop like so. But again, this bishop's not necessarily going anywhere at the moment, so I could also just develop. If he takes, I take with a tempo. If we have trades, we have trades. Because of this tempo and the fact that it's hard for him to develop his knight, I think I'm relatively okay there. There might be this move too, but I think this is pretty good. There's always still this as a bailout option, so I like it. Again, kind of like in the last game that I uploaded, the margins are slight. Okay. There's nothing particularly direct. But now after take, if I play this, I'm hitting the rook. If he takes like so, I take back with my queen. If he takes this, I take the queen, he takes, then I take back. My point is after this, and this, I'm hitting both the rook and this pawn at the same time. So take, hit. If he takes the pawn, he's giving up material to do so. Because for the pawn, I get a knight. And then even trades. He'd get 2 pawns for it, but he'd also, yeah, I think that should be good for me. This should be good for me. Again, if he comes here, what do we think? I guess there we do have this move still. And if takes, I can't take anymore because the knight is guarding there. So maybe still somehow not quite because of this. Then there's check. And that is an annoying check. I'm going to go for it. At the very least, I can still bail. All I've done is taken a bishop at this point. But assuming he takes back, I'm looking at this move. And I'm thinking, you can't take because I take like this. You can't take because I take like this. And where do you go with your rook? You can't come here because I take. You can come here, I suppose. But in that case, I come here. I have a tempo on the rook. And the rook just has to move. It hasn't gained anything from being there, and I'll get rooks onto the d file pretty soon. So this square doesn't seem to make a lot of sense for the rook. Again, if he comes here, there's check, and that's really annoying because he can't block it without getting taken. He can't block it like this without just me taking. I guess he could offer a queen trade there. But I can take the queen. We can do that. Not against the rules to do that. Then again, we don't have to do that. I can come here as well. Just pin this. Pin this and look to put a rook over here. I like this because I am moving in with tempo against this fellow. If he were to castle, I can just take the pawn and say, hey, I'm a pawn up. What do you do about that? If I come here, he can also come here. But I get a rook over here, and I think things are looking alright. I can do this as well, to be sure. But this is nice as well, because if he did come in here straight away, I'm attacking this rook in a very, very nasty way. So after this, what if he breaks the little barrier down there? Then there's this. And again, this idea seems like it should be okay until he takes here. I don't love that he can take there. How about this? Attacking the pawn like that. Also defending this pawn. If this, he can play this, hitting my knight back. But I can still jump in here hitting the rook. I think the fact that that rook has to move is a little bit annoying for him, because it means that I'm going to be able to follow up with this check. Unless he moves the rook here. Alright, well, he wants to castle on the next move. I have to be quick because there's not an increment in this game, right? This was the initial idea, but I'm not convinced that's really the best way to do this. Again, it might not be so bad. In fact, after this, and check, if he blocks in some way or other, then does this not trap the rook? Seems to trap the rook, even if the rook comes back over here or here. Well, here's not possible, but here, then there's check. So looking at this again. Check. Let's say this. And then let's say this, hitting the rook. If the rook comes down, just takes that piece. Check doesn't work. Not because he could take, because he can't, he's pinned, but because he takes here. And I take here. Now it's just not quite working. Just don't think it's quite working. Could do something like this. Could again start like this. That could be a nice idea. This even may be nice. And just looking to get rooks here. This might be the most direct, Queen A4. Queen A4. Threatening A7. Let's do it. Queen A4. We pin the rook. If he castles, we can, at the least, if we want, take on A7. If he attacks us, we can take here too. And if he doesn't castle, isn't this now problematic? This can't move. So if we play this, you can't take with the queen. If you take with the knight, then I put a rook here. And I'm double attacking this thing. You can guard it again. It does seem just a bit shaky, right? This. Then I put a rook here. One of them. You have to move the queen off the file. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. I could put a rook here immediately, but then by the time you castle away, I play this, still attacking the rook. The rook can move there. And there's this. Don't like that this might become weak at one point. So I'd probably like to move this rook away so at least when this is taken one day, it doesn't come with a tempo on the rook. This is very, very interesting. Take. If I do just do something like this, he can even do take. When I take back, he castles. So I don't think it's working. Unless there's something in this position. Like this. If he comes here looking for a queen trade, well, I take the rook, he takes the queen. Then I come here. He comes back. And I mate him? Does that work? Let's have one more look at this. Take, take, take. I'll come here, hitting the queen. If the queen offers a trade... there's no pawn, so there's no capture here at all. This, and this. I could go check. He takes check. He moves this. No, I don't think this is working. This. No, I don't see it working. This. No. No, I don't see it working. So then, looks as though we might be having to let him castle. So we say, let's develop. He castles. We play something like this. He's also maybe threatening this in certain circumstances. And where do we then go? This is very, very interesting. Queen may be slightly misplaced, really. I think that's kind of true in a way. The queen may be a bit misplaced. Again, if this is played, I'm just looking at it yet again. Because it's forced. No, I don't see a lot of greatness there. Don't really see a lot of greatness there. Maybe we just got to come back. Put the rook here. I think this is the wrong place for this piece. I mean, I can come here and look to do something like that. What's the point, though? If I do this and he castles, then how I get my queen back into a good spot is a real question. I'm going to bring my queen back now. I don't think it's in the right spot there. I guess with my queen there, I could have considered after this, like, this kind of a trade. But no, I don't really want to do that. Of course, I'm low on time. There's no increment. He's got 26 minutes, which is only 23 minutes and 6 seconds more than me. But I enjoy thinking about the game. So we'll see what happens. Next time I'll play with an increment. which is how I play in the tournament, so it's more characteristic of how it's really done. Now I think he'll castle here, just a useful move, and I can bring a rook here if I like. Other useful moves, I mean, maybe this. What am I really doing here? Maybe just saying I'm going to stick my knight on this square. So let's say he castles and I come here. What if he tries to undermine this square? Then my knight's a little bit out of play. Take, take, take. What's my knight doing, sort of thing. So he castles. And maybe I can bring my queen out this way. Could put a rook here. I'm sure that's fine. But if I come here, I do restrict his knight for the time being, and I allow rooks to come here. So I think this is an okay idea. If he does this, I'm also putting some pressure on this pawn. If he does this, there are options. This would be one. Attacking him, defending this, depending on where he goes. Maybe I get to this square that I like. Or maybe not. Maybe if he comes here, I just play this. Not sure. I think long-term plan, I do want to play this idea. But I would like to have a rook here rather than my queen there. So that if things open up, it's my rook against his queen. That would be ideal. I do feel better with my queen here as compared to over here. So I think this was actually a relatively nice idea. So now, this is interesting. He's giving me the opportunity to play this move. It would be a sacrifice of the pawn. I'm not sure I gain a lot more after that. I could also just guard the pawn. And that should be fine. As I said, I can do this. But in time pressure, I'm just going to play the rook b1 move. It seems very, very solid. I'm still controlling his knight. Except for this square. But at that point, when he's got two attackers here, I can bring a rook over here. And I'm keeping things pretty nicely together. This is going to be possible in future with this to come. Now that this is defended, what am I afraid of? I can just do this and this. Keeping in mind, if he comes back over this way, like I said, this pawn could fall. There is some harmony in my pieces. There's not a lot of harmony on my clock though. But I'm not going to worry about that for the moment. I'm not going to worry about that. So if he pushes this pawn forward, I take, and I'm hitting both the knight and the rook, which is going to be really good for me. So he can't do that. He might do this. That allows this as well to hit the rook. Say rook comes here. It's interesting, isn't it? Interesting that he might fall into trouble with this kind of discovery. All right, so there is this move. If he takes, then I take rook. So he can't take, he has to move rook. When he moves rook, I guess the question then is, well, then what? So he's trying to put pressure here. I can put a rook here. I can also do this, as mentioned, and then come here, hitting the queen and hitting this. That might be nice. Let's do it. Or do we do it? Where does he go? I think it's even better after I just secure this pawn slightly more. So now I think I am threatening this, and this in a position where hopefully everything else is pretty solid. Of course, I've only got a minute 20, no increment, so I will run out of time. But I think the position's pretty nice. This is now even worse, because not only would I be hitting the knight and the rook, but I'd be hitting the queen as well. There's a lot of pent-up energy here. If I had an increment, I'd be pretty confident about this position. As it is, we'll see what happens. If this, as I say, this is something I can play pretty quick, and when he moves, I can come here. So he's coming after this. Oh, okay, so I can't do this because I lose that. But I can come here though, for what that's worth. I can also come here. I can come here, and if he takes, I take this. But I'm going to do it this way. And if he takes, I'll decide how I want to take back. Probably with the queen, because then this idea is again in the air. I'm also preventing this bishop from using this, and I'm defending my pawn once more. So I'm still looking to get to this square, even though it's no longer with a tempo on the rook. It's still with a tempo on the queen. This move's still looking possible, because if he takes... So if I do this, I'm hitting this rook, basically. The rook can take here, though. Then after take, that's a bit annoying. So I'll attack the queen. Maybe he can just take this. Not sure. But I take queen, he takes queen, I take rook. He takes knight. So he takes this. I take this. He takes this, I take this, he takes this. He takes this, I take this. He takes this. I take this. Okay, so he moves. All right. Unfortunately, running out of time. Yeah. That's all right. I'll just run out of time. We'll see how I played. Just curious as to how I played. Looks like I had a missed win. Let's see. Straight away, this move is not... Well, it's not too bad. In fact, it's pretty good. He comes here. I castled. He fianchettoed. And I went for this idea of taking and installing my knight on e5. Not great. Sort of diminishes the advantage. Instead of initiating those trades, I was in a much better position right here. I wonder if this critical move was the one. Seems to be. Seems to be. I mean, I'm hitting this knight. If he takes, I think I would take this knight. Now I'm hitting two of his pieces. If he takes, hitting one of my pieces. It's an interesting idea. Suppose I take. Obviously, if he takes here, I take back. If he takes here, I can take, he takes, and I take. He takes, I take. Without getting into all the details, it still looks pretty even, hey? Clearly I missed something along the way though, because the computer thinks this is great for white. So what is the computer seeing that I'm not? I don't know. But after this, I developed. Again, letting this advantage go. Just being a bit afraid to strike. And I wonder if again, was this the right move? No. Was this the right move? This d5 move? No. Don't tell me it was this. Definitely not. So I'm not sure what it was, but I didn't do anything too bad because the evaluation's still fine. This move I came to regret a little bit, but it's not too bad. A6, and I just came back. It's all basically steady, and then I came over to Queen F3. I thought that was all right. It's basically steady, but he is a little bit better now. Rook B1, bit slow, but nothing much to it. On the Queen move, again, nothing too bad. Takes. He comes here. I come here. He's got a bit of an advantage. So what was my big mistake? What's my missed win? I mean, obviously my big mistake was using heaps and heaps of time. That much is clear. I'm not going to become a premium member, so guess we'll never find out. Unfortunately. One last look. See if we can work out what some of these variations are where I went wrong. So like here where I was doing really well, it really likes knight, it likes A6 for black. Okay, but no, here. It's actually my move now. So D5. Now, although he has various moves, they're all good for me. Knight E5. Knight takes. Bishop takes. And then rook E1. And you're just developing with the tempo. That does make sense. If knight B8, you take here. And after the knight recaptures D6. And if he takes, you take back with your queen and you're really sitting on his position. If he doesn't take, then he just pushes forward. And you go knight b5, looking to use this pawn as an anchor point for the knight. If this, I assume we simply take, that's just a free knight. If knight a5, now the best would be queen a4. And this queen's looking a bit overloaded. So let's say he takes, take back, check. If he blocks, he loses the knight, so he has to actually move away. And that's obviously good. And there's also b4, I would think. Maybe not, maybe he counterattacks. Wait, oh no, b4 loses our own. Rook d1 here would be fine. Bishop f4 is fine. Bishop e3 is fine. Not just fine, but very good. Anyway, as played, I still had a nice advantage. Queen b3 would have been a nice idea, threatening mate. Because of the threat of mate, it would require e6, so that. And then rook e1. Again, just bringing pieces into the game. If he takes this, the beautiful move comes in. There's a few of them. There's a few beautiful moves. Taking c6 is the worst of them. And after rook takes, queen takes on b7 is fine, but this is the worst of those variations. The best of them would be taking here, hitting the rook. And if king takes, you come in with a pretty powerful check, and then take the rook. And you're absolutely crushing, so yeah, that would have been a nice idea, hey? Bring pieces in and then consider these tactics. Alright, come back again next time. We're going to keep on going. We'll see you then.